The built-in Google Drive trigger node in N8N polls or checks your Google Drive every minute by default, and that is 1440 executions a day. And if you are monitoring 6 or 7 folders, that means almost 10,000 executions a day. There is a much better way for handling this, and I will show you how you can monitor your Google Drive in real time using webhooks. Zero polling, zero wasted executions. But there's a catch nobody is talking about, so stay tuned till the end of the video. So this is the standard node every YouTuber tells you to use to check your Google Drive, and as you can see, poll time is every minute. Okay, you can choose every hour, every day, every week. This can be good if you have a self-hosted instance of N8N, then it doesn't matter how many executions you have. But if you are building it for a client and the client has a paid plan, you see if it is monthly billed, he pays 24 euros for 2,500 executions. Okay, you can ask him, oh, you need 50,000 executions, but then he already pays 144 euros. So the way like this, it's not doable. So we delete this node and we start with a manual trigger. So instead of repeatedly asking Google Drive, did anything change, which is what the trigger does, you can open a channel where Google notifies you when something does change. And for this, we need an HTTP request. But first, I'm gonna set the folder I will check as variable. So this is the folder ID I'm gonna check. So folders to check, this is the ID we're gonna check. Then the next step is the HTTP node. So we make a post request to this endpoint, https www.googleapis.com drive v3 files, and then the folder ID, and then we want to watch it. And now I hear you saying, hey Peter, there is file, but I want to watch a folder. Well, for Google, everything is a file, and a folder is in fact a file with files in it. And as authentication, you choose predefined credential type, and as credential type, Google Drive 002, and here you give in your Google Drive credentials. And we also need to give some more information, and that is passed via a JSON file in the body. I'm going to make this larger. The first one is the ID, and that is the ID of the channel. And this ID must be unique, and that is why I'm using a timestamp. So every time you create the channel ID is unique. And then how you want to get notified via webhook. And then here is the address of the webhook. I already set it up. Now if I go to the receive part, here is the webhook, and we will receive a post request, and this is the URL of the webhook. And then we also have to set the expiration. And why is that needed? Well, once a channel is set up, Google keeps it open for around 24 hours. But this can be less than 24 hours, it can be more than 24 hours, it can be 24 hours and 10 minutes, but also 23 hours and 45 minutes. So, to be sure our channel doesn't get cut off, we sent an expiration date of 23 hours. So, but now this means after 23 hours, our channel will be cut off. So that is why we add another trigger, a schedule trigger, and we trigger this every 23 hours. So now let's see what happens. And here we see the channel has been set up. So the kind, the ID of the channel, you see there is unique, resource ID, resource URL, so everything. Yeah. So here you can see the channel has been set up. It's an API channel and the ID is unique. So that was the first part. Now let's go to the second part, the receiving part. So the channel has been set up, so I can publish this one. Okay, and now let's upload something. Okay, let's upload, and now go check our executions. You see that was almost instantly. Now let's check what we receive. So this is what we receive in our webhook. It doesn't say this file has been uploaded or that file has been deleted. It just says there has been an update. So the next step will be find out what has been updated. We put a new set node where we define the folder name. Okay, you can also retrieve the folder name from this URL, but I want to keep it no code or as less as possible code. So set our folder ID, and the next node again will be an HTTP request. Okay, this is the endpoint of the HTTP request, googleapis.com files. And again, you connect with your Google Drive account. And instead of sending a JSON file, we send query parameters, and the name of the query is Q. This is the value. So the folder ID, and then in parents and thrashed is false, because we don't want to check if a file has been deleted, but we can change that. And the created time is now minus 2 minutes. So we check what has been changed in the last 2 minutes. So execute step. So now we see what has been changed. So a new file, Australis logo new, it's an image file, and this is the file ID. And now you can do whatever you want with it. You can download it, you can continue with your workflow. But now I'm going to show you something nobody tells you. Let's see what happens. So 4 at once. Okay, now let's go to our executions. And as you can see, our workflow got triggered 5 times. So the first one probably was, hey, there is an update, and the 4 other times was file 1, file 2, file 3, and file 4. So this is how Google behaves. There is nothing to do about it. But how do I tell N8N, hey, I only need you to continue with one workflow, and if possible, only the first one. Now, let's go back to our workflow. And for this, we use Redis, or its online version called Upstash. And think of it as a super fast notepad in the cloud. No, that's it. It stores tiny pieces of data and information, and it does it extremely, extremely fast. Much faster than a database, much, much, much faster than Google Sheets. So, and again, this is an HTTP request, and I'm going to put it here. So this is the new HTTP request. So we connect to Upstash, so that's the online version of Redis. And of course you connect with your Upstash account. Now let's see what endpoint we use. So in fact what this does is the first one of all the workflows who get to this endpoint, he wins and he locks it and he says, okay, this is mine, lock it. So the second one, even if it is 10th of a second later, he will see, okay, this variable is also set, so it will stop there. Upstash will tell the workflow, okay, you cannot continue, stop. The third one, who will be 2/10 of a second later, will also see, hey, this variable is set to stop, so we cannot continue. So this one was the first one to arrive at the Upstash endpoint, and he was able to put or to say, hey, I'm the first one, so he's allowed to continue, so the result is okay. So this one arrived a fraction of a second later, and here, result null. Sorry, you were too late, you have to stop now. So this result we have to use in the if statement, so go back to the editor. So here we put the if statement, so now it is. So we have the result from the upstash command is okay. We continue to the next step, and the next step was setting the folder ID and getting what has been changed. Okay, now let's publish this. And again, add a bunch of files. Okay, upload this, go back to our executions. This was the first one to arrive, but it didn't win. Let me check this one. Okay, this one did win. Copy to editor and pin. So now this is a complete workflow. So you see, we got a message that there was an update in this folder. Then we did the Upstash node. And here it says, okay, we only need to continue with one, and this was the winner. Something I forgot to tell you. The variable that it has set is only short-lived for 3 seconds. So if you upload some files 5 minutes later, that variable is already gone and a new one will be set. So the result is okay. So we go to the upper part, the true part. Here we set again the name of our folder, and here we see all the files that have been uploaded. If you also want to check the files that got deleted, you can delete and trashed as false, but I have no idea why you would do that, unless you do it for logging and then you see all the deleted files too. Maybe you can put an F statement here. So this was the easiest way and the most effective way to use webhooks to monitor Google Drive. A much better way than the polling system from the built-in Google Drive trigger node. This basic workflow will be in the description below. And if you're a small business or you want me to help you building automations, my email address is in the description below. Please don't hesitate to contact me and I will help you with lots of pleasure. But this was not the only possibility. In the next video, I will show you another way to check this. That is a bit more advanced, but me, I still prefer this one. This is an easy one and always works. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for the next one.